Greetings, adventurers. It's been a minute. I've missed y'all, and I'm sorry about that. I've been busy with school and work and just life in general. Looking at possibly moving again already, but it'll be to a nicer house and everything like that's already completely finished. But in the time that I have been gone, I have finished up Dragonmaids. I've gotten back into the TCG, and I'm loving it. All the stuff that I've missed out over the years is so cool, and it's basically like a new game to me. So I went in with the game, my favorite archetype in Master Duel, and in the TCG, I'm absolutely loving it even more with all the things we can do. Yeah, without further ado, let's get into this. Starting off with the main deck. I set this up as the different packages in which we're running, rather than going through all monster spells, all traps, yeah, all that stuff. So, we're running 3 Chamber. It's a 1-card sphere, searches for our spells and traps, adds them to our hand. Really good. Good old 3 Parlor. I do intend to eventually run this down into a, like, Despia Dragonmaids, so I'd probably end up cutting down to 1 when we come to that point, just because the unnecessary and unusable, attribute. But right now, another, option for 1-card spheres. Can't go wrong with that. 1 kitchen. I know some people do run with like 2. I prefer 1. I don't think she does enough to warrant a second copy, but does enough to, get her placed as a 1-of. Then we got the 1 nurse, simply just running 1 of her because she is too useless if we, open up with her. So 1 of, she does her thing, she can be special summoned all the different ways, just like they can, so it gets things done really easily. And, I mean, we can then, go back into whatever plays we need to, if we weren't able to link because we got, stopped off, whatever. We can do things. Then we're running 1 of each of the good, big girls, so them I probably won't change too much for them. Even if I go the Despia route, I'd have to play around with that a little more, but as of right now, this seems to be the best way. I'm not, breaking up too much. We always still have plays to go, no matter what I'm opening with for the most part. So, one of each of them, perfectly fine for me, and it's probably the ratio I'm going to keep at for a while. Onto the spells and traps side of this. 3 hospitality, enough said. We can search it off of Chamber. Go into that helps get our 1-card, become our 1-card spheres. And, whenever we need to, we can also just get special summons as we go. 1 changeover. It could be a risk and all. I do know some people run 2. I think 1 of is great. I know just like a lot of people do. The risk of getting DD crowed and losing that thing's pretty detrimental, but we're not running pure maids, so we do have ways of doing other stuff too and still getting the big dragon maids out, so it's not too big of an issue, and it recurs itself, so we don't need to worry about running multiples unless we did, I could potentially run a second copy in the sideboard, say somebody does run DD Crow in their sideboard to then pop that in the graveyard, but we'll kind of work that out and see how it goes. Next, our best trap, I think. We have some great disruption here off of good old tidying. It just does so much, if we can, open up with this and also get out of spheres in that turn. We have 2 forms of bounce, so non-destruction removal is pretty nice, as we all know. And the ability to then special summon on either turn from the graveyard or hand is really nice, so I like it. 3 of absolutely. And, it's searchable too off of Chamber, so definitely the way I'd go with that is running 3. Alright, and then we'll go on to the small little branded / Albaz package. There's not much to it. And here it is. Forgetting that my camera's facing the other way. 2 Fallen of Albaz, and then 3 Branded Fusion. Enough said, I think any more than 2 for me is a little too much, and we're running 42 cards here, so I'd like to keep it down, so just 2 rather than 3 is where I think 1 would be way too few, and it's somewhat searchable, so that's my schmoove. Anyway, on to the next thing. Oh yeah, we are running the DPE package here. I have one, so I figured why not run it. That's one of the reasons why we're at 42. And it does me wonders in here, so I figured why not? Too good not to run, I think. So we do it. Enough said. For other, little just text and all, we got 2 Super Poly, 2 Noctos, and then Monster Reborn and Called by the Grave. Called by Grave, obvious. Same with Monster Reborn. Noctovision, it can help protect our back row. It can be special summoned if we special summon a dark monster, a dark dragon. And then if we link off of it, we can then also draw a card. So it's nice to have, and it's a 2800, booty at the absolute worst. So it's a good option. And then we're doing so much fusions and everything, so... And Super Poly is just so powerful, why not run it? Okay, enough of them. They got enough spotlight. On to I believe our last bit is really just our hand traps. My hand trap lineup is probably the weakest aspect of this deck, as I do not own any, Ghost Spells or Ash Blossoms yet, having just came in and, just learning the game. So running 3 Effect Veiler, 3 Ghost Ogre, and 3 Imperms. Even if they are weaker things, it still works out for me well enough, so, why not, I'd probably cut each of these down a bit to replace them with, down to each 2 probably, and then run triple Ash Blossom, and that's the plan once we get around to that. It's probably the next upgrade I'm doing to this deck. So that's the main deck. Let's go on over to the extra deck, my favorite thing here. We are running 2 YuGiOh and 2 House. These ratios just... I'd probably run 1 more House if I could, but the extra deck's really tight, so we're not doing that. Alright, so we got them. And, running just 2 YuGiOh... YuGiOh is enough, because, we get that Omni Negate, she sends herself back, and then we can just bring back also Dragonmaids on that next standby phase after summoning her. And then, going into House off of her is just great, being able to replace herself so easily. Enough said, really, with that. And, they're both 3k plus, so they go over pretty much anything. Next, we got DPE, because so good, just so strong. I debated on doing Dragoon or DPE, and I really prefer DPE, and I got a pretty good deal on it too, so it worked out. Next, we are doing the good old boys from the structure deck. Good old Mirror Jade, Lubellion, and Albion. They help facilitate some more of our plays, so get us a good board presence and all that. And that's outside of our engine stuff and all, so let's go into more of our Super Poly targets. We are running 1 Overload Furious, a Starving Venom, and a Predaplant Dragostapelia. Out of them, Stapelia is probably my favorite. Just the ability to negate effects like that, it can definitely help shut off some things. Starving Venom can make himself pretty beefy and all, which is great at times. Little less, meaningful, but still quite important. And then Overload Furious. I've seen some success with it. Out of any of the things I cut from this list, it would maybe be that, as far as the fusions go, and maybe replacing it once we get some more better, targets. Especially whenever I go into the Despia side of things, we'll definitely be cutting down on it. Cutting it out for sure. Maybe even most of the whole Super Poly lineup. But until then, he stays. Oh, also forgot Sprind. Sprind, I was honestly debating on whether or not I'd stick with Sprind or if I'd stick with Titaniclad, but Sprind has really convinced me, as you can still play through things like Contact C, since you have to use that as the extra deck material. and it requires a special summon monster. So you can do that going off of Albaz, and it's fine. Like, using that, it doesn't lock you out. Having this rather than Titaniclad would, if you had her out, it would not help you in any capacity. It would shut down your plays. This, you can do things, move over, pop stuff. I love it. Super useful in that case, and I have been hit with it before, so I just figured I'd run it. And then next is we're running double spheres. I'm really stuck on running double spheres or one spheres and a Verte Anaconda. Reason being is just I don't really feel like I ever need Verte, and Verte locks us out of too much stuff. Just like also running, you know, anything here, just it's like if I do it, it definitely keeps me from doing other plays with, you know, just effect monsters from the main deck rather than extra deck plays. I don't care as much getting locked out, but not being able to special summon after using its effect, I can avoid it, but I'd rather not have to worry about it, and we have so many options, it doesn't really matter too much to me. I'd rather have more utility with using him, getting other plays going. And then we're also running one Pisty, because it's a link one that we can then go off of into our, you know, bringing our boy here out. The side deck, honestly, is just completely a work in progress. Like, it really is just kind of tuned up for, like, the things I go up against, mostly within my friend group, and with what I've heard, my new locals that I found is pretty prevalent. I am, just because of it, I want them to be on the teams, so we are running Laundry and her counterpart because I don't want her to be sidelined like this. So she's going in the side deck just for, you know, the memes, even though she does nothing for us. Then I'm running double DD Crow, Token Collector, DRNM, Feather Duster, Raigeki. I'd probably do more if I had more, but I just do not own any others. D-Barrier, and a Downtime. Downtime's amazing, I think, especially, like, this and Feather Duster are the things I side in any back row heavy matchup, just because clear it, say it's Eldritch, we clear, we win. Oh, they have a, what's it called? Skill Drain. We can then bounce a Dragon Maid and then remove the Skill Drain and then continue our plays. So, things like that, especially considering I go up against quite a few Eldritch players. So, I hate that, but it is an out to it. I would almost consider main decking it, but just, it's not enough for me to, figure I'd do that. But, yeah, that's, my first paper deck in, like, 10 years. I love it. It's super fun. Yeah, I absolutely love Dragonmaids. It's just so fun. I haven't had a deck that be this fun to me since, like, Gishkis. Back with, like, running my old Zeal Gigas OTK. Like, stuff, like, nothing crazy, but it was so fun. But yeah. Once again, guys, I'm sorry it's been so long, but I do hope y'all have enjoyed this here. I had fun, making this deck, and, getting to explain, like, my thought process on things that I chose, and explaining the deck, I guess, helps me understand the deck a little better as well. But it's the only deck I really understand all that well, and I certainly hope I can improve this a bit more. I might go the Branded and Despia route, or I might go make a, you know, Pure Maids variant. I haven't decided yet, but I love it. It's so much fun. And yeah, I'm not gonna post a deck list. Watch the video, nerds. Without further ado, I will see y'all next time, adventurers. Farewell!
11, 10, 9, 7, 5, 3, sound 1, start.